Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Moving the Chains here on Team NBS Media. My name is Ashmere, and I'm sure everyone has already been up early watching this kind of exciting Vikings and Jets game, which has just started the second half. I'm excited to welcome my two guys. You know who they are, Jeff and Joe. Welcome. Good morning. Happy
Good
Sunday.
morning.
How are you?
I'm
Doing
good.
good. Doing good.
Happy NFL early NFL Sunday as we already have action.
Yeah,
sure.
it was an early one for me, not too early for you.
You know me, late to bed, early up in the morning.
Yeah, if you were watching, Jeff had a college show last night going into the wee hours because there was a lot to talk about yesterday. It was a crazy college Saturday, of course. There's no other way to do it. So, nice plug for Jeff. Jeff's all over Team NBS. If you're not watching, you're missing.
Yeah, somebody at my job asked me if he took over. I was like, what do you mean? Did you sell your company to Jeff Barnes? I was like, no, this man just works.
Just like, I just love the game, man.
She, knee.
Okay, I think we should start off talking about a little bit about the Jets Vikings before we take on the rest of the games that haven't happened. What are your first thoughts about what's going on here?
This is typical Minnesota. This is the Minnesota team we've seen all year. Jump out early, get a lead, and stay on top of people. And this is how they built this undefeated streak so far. And they're playing right the game plan. Unfortunately, the New York Jets, on the other hand, are not looking like the world beaters that the world promised us. Aaron Rodgers has not been in sync with his receivers. They are totally out of sync altogether this morning. This is the team we saw lose to Denver last week, and they're continuing that. I didn't feel good about this pick of the Jets coming into this one after the Denver loss, and unfortunately, I was kind of stuck with it because we made the pick last week, and it's looking even worse right now.
Total dysfunction on the New York Jets side of the ball. I mean, they don't know what they're doing. Aaron Rodgers definitely at fault on some interceptions, a pick six. Just seemed discombobulated. That last touchdown they got right before the half should have given the Jets some momentum, but it's imperative. If Minnesota scored a touchdown, even a field goal, I think, with this first possession of the second half, that could be ball game.
I think we're going back to old school Aaron Rodgers. You can see he trusts who he trusts. Like Allen Lazard's getting the first touchdown. He's like, Devontae, please, I only throw to the people I know. Come back, right? I think it's like this is his call to action.
You might not be wrong with that one, actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's all my timeline has been about this entire week. It's Devontae this, Devontae that, so.
I just love how they throw teams in there that have absolutely no interest in it. Oh, this team is interested. The Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys just paid their quarterback and wide receiver one $95 million a year. They're not paying him $20-something million this year, $40+ million for the next 2 years. I'm sorry, that works great on Tecmo Bowl. It does not work great right now in real life football with the salary cap. It doesn't happen that way, folks.
Yeah. I think and CD is doing just fine without any assistance. It's like the CD game or nothing at this point. All right, since we're talking about games that have not happened yet, let's roll into today's lineup. So first, we're going to talk about, let me get my graphic here. All right, we're going to start off with Joe's team, the Browns and the Commanders. The Commanders have really outdone themselves. I think we are all excited to see Jaden Daniels' success. I mean, I am one of I guess I would say. And I think it's very important to talk about taking on this Browns team. We've talked of Deshaun time and time again. Is he going to show out? Is this game? Are the Browns just going bankrupt at this point? So let's hear first thoughts on Jaden Daniels' progression through the first month of the NFL. Joe, please take it away.
Oh, man, Jaden Daniels is everything that Washington Commanders and fans of the Commanders could have asked for. I mean, he's off to a great start. I think he's getting better and better every game. I almost feel like, not to look too far back, but I feel like that Bucs game, they might have held him back a little bit as far as not giving him the ability to really throw the ball deep and show what he can do. But like I said, as the weeks have gone by, his play has just progressed and progressed. This is a big game for the Commanders because since they started off so hot, this is one of those games where, at least on my timeline and talking to other Commander fans, they expect the Commanders to win. And we don't do really well. It's been a long time since we've been expected to do anything. So I think for the Commanders being at home with all the talk of the national media and local media about how this team is doing, there's a little bit of pressure on this Commanders team to perform today. And that Browns defense is still one of the better defenses in the NFL. We can't let Deshaun Watson's bad play make us forget about Myles Garrett and the rest of those guys they have on that side of the ball.
I think, I'm gonna let Jeff take it away first. Jeff, please give the Commanders the comments you got.
Well, kudos to, of all people, everybody's going to go, what? Yes, Cliff Kingsbury, for realizing the quarterback that I have and how to properly utilize him to get him going early. They utilize his legs, they utilize him on the move. They do a lot of things to make him feel comfortable coming into the league. They're not just trying to turn him into a straight drop back passer. So kudos to Cliff Kingsbury to saying, if we're going to come out here and succeed early, I need my offense to come out with no hiccups. And he's done that with Jaden Daniels by coming out, making him comfortable, getting guys involved that need to get involved, like Terry McLaurin. Okay, so they're doing a great job of utilizing the weapons they have, utilizing the quarterback's best skills and minimizing his weaknesses. So that's the best thing that set them up for success so far. The defense has looked a lot better because they're not out there on the field more than the offense. So that's been the secret sauce for Washington.
All right, taking on a Browns defense that Joe is saying is still able to hold on. I think it's difficult. I think we can all agree to keep at that defensive pace when your offense is not putting points on the board. And right now, the Browns are struggling to do so. I know the Commanders' defense has been pretty iffy. I think when they're taking on the Cardinals, we were talking about how that was just going to be a big offensive matchup. So at this point in time, the Commanders have been together for a month. They have the opportunity to really prove who they are in Week 5. So what are you looking for in the offensive side? I'm going to give Joe the Commanders all the way, and then Jeff Browns all the way. It just feels right. So offensively,
I'll take the lowly Browns. It's fine.
to be a lone wolf.
I still own the company, Jeff. I still own the company. I get my way.
Yeah. Tell me, just Joe, break down what the Commanders can do right today.
I think you just got to utilize your rookie quarterback. Give him some easy plays to get the ball on his playmakers. Terry McLaurin's been a good playmaker. I think Zach Ertz is getting better week after week. So I think offensively, just got to attack. Jump on Cleveland early. Let's not get off to a slow start or make this one of those sloppy games. This game should not be a dogfight. To show yourselves and the rest of the league that, hey, we're not the same lowly Commanders, get off to a fast start, especially at home, get that home crowd behind you. So I think offensively, it's really important to get off to a fast start. On the defensive side of the ball, I need to see some improvement. I mean, the pass rush has gotten a little bit better, but I want to see more pass rush, get some turnovers. Dan Quinn's a defensive guy. That was what he was known for in Seattle, Atlanta, also in Dallas those last couple of years. I know he doesn't have the exact same playmakers on the side of the ball in Washington, but still, let's get these guys in position to make some plays. I want to see an improved defense, and I want to see the offense start off fast. Those are my two keys for us to win this game today.
All right, Jeff?
Well, if I'm the Cleveland Browns, if I want to come out of here with a win, I have to do something that successful teams do that we haven't done, and that's be consistent. Be consistent on defense. They've been inconsistent so far. We saw it week 1 where they got trounced by Dallas, turn around, they get a win, and go right back to being inconsistent all over again. This offense has not even thought of the word inconsistent just yet, unless you want to talk about consistently inconsistent, right? They are just up and down week after week. They show you a flash or two of who they can be, then they go back to who they have been. So if I'm the Cleveland Browns, it starts with the basics. Getting back to running the football with success on early downs, setting up Deshaun Watson with capable third downs where he can not only throw the ball on time, in rhythm, but also use his legs. Okay, we don't have to see him run around and try and get 3rd and 10s, but 3rd and 5 is the best thing for you, right? When those guys are covered, you get to break the pocket and get the 5 yards and extend the drive. These are things that are going to help your quarterback be successful. That's also going to give the defense a lot of problems trying to cover both. Okay, so these are options for this offense. Kevin Stefanski is always trying to find the right play. Well, it always starts as the offensive coordinator by getting that first 10 yards. That is the main thing if you want to be a consistent offense. Teams that can go 80 yards in 10 plays consistently are more dangerous than a team that can go 80 yards in one play because you don't give up 80-yard plays every game. All right, so that's where the Browns have to be back to being what they were. When they were really good last year, when they were really good the year before, was when they were able to go out there and put together long drives because their running game was effective on early downs, and they were able to convert on third down.
All right, when you're talking about Deshaun Watson, there have been pros and cons. Of course, we're not sugarcoating this. I think there is a way that he likes to play football, and there's a way that's working. And right now, it feels like his way is not working. So, how can Deshaun look more comfortable? Just start utilizing the offense that he has, because there is chatter, of course, of Amari Cooper maybe not wanting to be there for a long time. You're wasting a lot of receivers' years when they could be with quarterbacks that are able to get the ball downfield. Like now we have George Pickens can finally feel at ease a little bit since Justin Fields is giving the ball to him. So for this moment here with Amari and the Browns, what are you trying to do? How can Deshaun really change in this matchup?
I'll let the offensive coordinator go first.
Well, the main things he has to do is just cut it loose. No more trying to be safe. I think one of the problems with Deshaun Watson right now is he's afraid of throwing the interceptions. He's afraid of going out there and making a bad read because everybody's looking at him as the problem, and he feels it. And as much as he says at the microphone, he doesn't. You can see it in his play. He feels it. When he was best at what he did is when he was able to go out there and consistently do it without the fear of failure. Yes, nobody wants to throw the interception. Nobody wants to take the big sack or have a forced fumble. But the fact of the matter is, quarterbacks have to at times when they have to be aggressive and cut it loose. He is not doing that. Now, there are times when those flashes come back. The illegitimate touchdown that was called back last week through a hold that didn't happen, that would have won the game for him, was a moment where he cut it loose. That is Deshaun Watson. That is the one you want to see on a regular basis. You're not seeing that. He's trying to play it safe. He's trying to drive the bus, and he's effectively doing it. It's not like they're not scoring points, but you're not scoring points enough to win games consistently because you're not taking your chances. You're not cutting it loose. You're not doing the things that made you special in the beginning. He's turned himself into an average quarterback by trying to go out there and not make the big mistake. Go out there and play football the way you played it before, the way you were capable of doing at a high level, by going out there and taking chances that you were only able to make. And I think you get back to being the guy you were. It's just a matter of sometimes playing it safe limits who you are.
And Joe, do you want to follow up?
I mean, I just think he's holding on to the ball too much. And now, listening to Jeff now, it makes sense. I don't want to make a mistake. I'm trying to make the perfect play. So until I think that guy is really open, I'm going to hold the ball. If you take a look at a lot of his sacks, it's literally him with the ball in one hand, trying to fight off two guys, waiting for someone to get open, when you could have made that throw a couple of seconds earlier and hit that person in stride. He just looks like a shell of his former self. I know he has a lot going on off the field. If I think he should be on the field, yes or no, different conversation for a different show. But I think he's just struggling really, really bad. And until he figures out how to play quarterback, at least at an average level, the Browns offense is going to continue to struggle.
So I have a couple stats for you guys. The Commanders are currently averaging 30.3 points per game. That is 8.5 more than the Browns surrender per game, which is 21.8. So a home matchup, I think that's always in your favor. Do you see the Commanders scoring high today?
I do. If they can protect Jaden Daniels, yeah, for sure. Keep Myles Garrett and company off of Jaden Daniels. I think they can score a lot of points for sure.
Yeah, I think they can score high 20s, low 30s. I think this is a game where, once again, if Cleveland's offense isn't moving the ball effectively and consistently, they're going to get a lot of opportunities. Too many opportunities for this offense will hurt you.
All right, now we've got last question. Matchup of two very good receivers, Scary Terry, my favorite, and Jerry Jeudy. So how can you stop that deep, explosive pass? What are these two defenses doing to avoid that big scoring, as I just said? Jeff, we'll go with the Browns first.
Well, the Browns, you have effective pass rushers. They need to earn their money today. You want to be able to have 6 and 7 in coverage while rushing 4. So what you want to do is plain and simple. Put pressure on the quarterback with your 4 pass rushers, have a spy just in case he escapes contain, and let the rest of those guys cover and take those guys away. This allows you to keep deep safeties deep, so it takes away the deep shots. This allows you to get in their face and jam at times or play soft and force them to check down and throw a lot of short stuff. But the main thing is you want to take away the early downs, take away that early running game. Take away those quick throws so he's not in third and short situations where he could just throw the little stuff on time and the little bubble screens. You want to make him sit in the pocket and throw down the field with a pass rush bearing down on him. That's going to be the way you slow down these 2 receivers on the outside.
All right. And what about our Jerry Jeudy here on the other side?
I think with Jerry Jeudy, it's got to make it difficult for him to get off the line and get into his routes, kind of pressure him a little bit. He's definitely one of the better route runners in the NFL, but I think if you can get him off his route, that's going to help you, especially with my earlier comment about Deshaun Watson, and Jeff mentioned it too, him holding the ball, waiting for the perfect pass. If you make Jerry Jeudy's routes difficult, that's more time the quarterback has to hold the ball, gives our defense a chance to kind of get a pass rush and maybe either force a bad throw or get a sack. So I think if I'm the Commanders, I want Jerry Jeudy to be very uncomfortable all game long.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very exciting game. I really like Jaden Daniels. And as I've said, game in and game out, I always root for rookie quarterbacks to feel successful and positive. So next up, we're going to roll into our second game, which is, I think the slates today are 50% great and 50% not great. And on the not great side is, of course, the Raiders-Denver Broncos game. But on the great side, we're going to talk about the Cowboys and the Steelers game. I think this is a long-standing rivalry, 2 franchises that are very strong. And fun fact for those who do not know, right now Dallas leads all time 17-16. So today, the Steelers have the opportunity to tie that up. And with the Justin Fields under center, I don't know how many people expected that to be true against the $1 million man of Dak Prescott. So I don't know if Jeff wants to take the Cowboys. I gave Joe his own team. So, Jeff, what are your pros for the Cowboys today?
Well, people have to understand how far back this rivalry goes to really feel it. I think it's time to give them a little glimpse of that rivalry.
That'll cool your ass off.
Back, the blitz is on for Dallas. The Steelers pick it up. Lynn Swann out there. Caught it! Oh, what a catch by Lynn Swann. It's Oakland. Here's Bradshaw. Bothered from behind. Lynn Swann is open. Got it. Steeler touchdown. Mark Washington with him. Pass.
Taking the pass on 1st and goal from the 3, wide open, Jay Novacek, touchdown!
We've got control.
1st and goal at the 6, slant pattern for the goal line, touchdown Steelers!
Romo throws high, intercepted, Townsend. Touchdown, Pittsburgh! It's Elliott! Elliott for the touchdown! No flags! Cowboys lead! 9 seconds left.
Since the 70s, these 2 teams have done battle. 2 Super Bowl wins for the Steelers over the Cowboys in that run in the 70s. The Cowboys get a little revenge in the 90s with the Super Bowl 30 win. Since then, they've met several times since then, going into overtime or late in the game with late scores to win it, as you saw in the highlights. This game, I expect to be no different. I expect both defenses to somehow find a way to keep both of these teams down. The Steelers know with their pass rush, they can wreak havoc on this Dallas offensive line that is young, inexperienced in a lot of spots. Only Zach Martin is the only player on this line with over 10 years of experience. So right now, they're going to look to take advantage of that youth and experience up front against the Dallas Cowboys. On the Steelers side of the ball, they're going to try and take advantage of the lack of pass rush from the Dallas Cowboys, knowing that both DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons are out for this game. So the Dallas defense is beat up. The Dallas offensive line is inexperienced. Expect Pittsburgh to try and take advantage of that early and often today.
I think the Steelers have a good leg up here, but I'm going to let Joe take it over before we get into that.
Classic matchup here. I think this is a big opportunity for Justin Fields to kind of show people that, it's not just a feel-good story. He actually is a legitimate NFL quarterback. He's been showing that already for the first couple of weeks, but I think it's a chance to once again prove them they say I was wrong. I think for Dallas, just got to continue trying to get yourselves right. It's been an up and down season for these guys. A couple of really, really rough losses. The Saints loss comes to mind. Almost had a comeback against the Ravens, but ended up losing that game in the end. So I think the pressure is definitely on Dallas, in my opinion, more than Pittsburgh. But I think it could end up being a good game. Mike Tomlin's teams rarely get blown out. He's going to at least have the Steelers put up a fight and make it a better game than most people might expect. Who's going to win? You have to wait for rapid fire to find out who my pick is. But I'm expecting a pretty good ball game today.
I think playing in Pittsburgh as well gives them a nice edge. If this was in Dallas, I think the favoring could be in another direction. So when you're looking at Dak Prescott and you're wondering what's going on offensively, well, it's only CeeDee Lamb. Okay, so there's not much to worry about there's much to worry about on the Cowboys side, excuse me. So I'm wondering for the offense, Jeff, how else do you get the rest of these guys going?
You have to use something that hasn't exactly been your strong suit. It's called the running game, okay? I think one of the things that's going to help the Cowboys is if they can have an effective running game, then their play-action game will open up certain things because it allows those linebackers to step up and create space between the safety and the linebackers at the intermediate level where they love to throw those crossing routes. But in order to do that, you have to have a running game that they fear, that those linebackers have to respect and come downhill at. They're not doing that very well, so they're forced to doing these quick check down throws and take these chances down the field in tight coverage because linebackers are not having to come downhill at their running game. Their running game is inconsistent. It's stagnant at a lot of times during the game, and that's one of the reasons why Dak Prescott is having to make special throws over and over and over again because plain and simple, there is a problem when it comes to this Dallas Cowboys running game as far as trying to go out there, consistently run the ball on first and second down, and also running the ball at crucial times during the game. There were times during the Giants where you would love to have seen that offensive line take over in the fourth quarter with a lead. They couldn't get it done. Okay, so it is just a problem for this Cowboys team. They believe they have all the answers. Well, we're finding out right now, if they have all the answers, somebody changed the questions.
Ooh.
All right, you talked a little bit on the offensive line, and there's another side that is struggling, and it's the defensive attack. So right now it feels like the Cowboys are a little broken. Curious to hear what adjustments can be made, and I think this is really the matchup to do it that can help them feel like they're not failing on every side of the ball.
I got to agree with Jeff in the running game part. I think you got to make it easier on yourselves, especially when you have Brandon Cooks who's not going to be playing for a couple of weeks. I think if I'm Dallas, let's go back to basics. We can worry about explosive plays and being the flashiest team in the NFL when we get healthier. I think right now it's got to be basic football, stack up some wins, get yourself back not only in the NFC East race, but get yourself in the NFC playoff ranking race as well. I think that just right now, the expectations Dallas had and the way they're playing don't match. Obviously, we thought, at least a lot of people thought, who are Dallas fans, to be a tremendous season for the Cowboys. So far, it hasn't been that way. I think you got to accept that and just get back to basics. And on the defensive side of the ball, you got to stop limiting explosive plays and let your opponents get these big long bombs or long runs. The defense has got to step up and shut things down. And I think on the offensive side of the ball for Dallas, just get back to basics. Let's just get like Def said, establish the running game. That opens up the play action pass, kind of get your tight ends involved in the game. I think just go back to simpler football. You got to kind of earn the right to be one of those explosive offenses. They're not there right now.
Dallas currently ranks last against the run. So that is a huge thing going against a Steelers team that loves to run the ball. I would say, I think this is Justin Fields' strong suit is the ability to throw and run. So now we'll go to the other side of the ball. Pittsburgh at home. Justin Fields is getting his flowers, as I feel like it's taken some time for him to get. What are you liking so far on the Steelers side from the first month?
I would say for Pittsburgh, I like the fact that Justin Fields is not forcing it. He's letting the game come to him. He's kind of doing the things that we all talked about Deshaun Watson needs to do with Cleveland. You don't see him forcing the ball. A lot of the plays he's making, the explosive plays, are getting called back because of penalties from the offensive linemen. You definitely want that to stop. But I think he's just playing good, solid football. When he runs the ball, it's effective. He's getting those 5-6 yards or even touchdowns on the scramble. He just seems very, very comfortable in his own skin. And kind of like Jaden Daniels, a lot of other young quarterbacks, the more he gets to the field, the more he gets to play, the better he's being at his job. I think that's what's lacking in Chicago. So much pressure with the Bears, them not allowing him to make mistakes and grow, knee-jerk reactions. None of that in Pittsburgh. I mean, different organization. You're playing for a great head coach. I just think Justin Fields is just playing free football.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the problem that we saw with Justin Fields was he had to be Mr. Hero, right? He had to go out there. He didn't have great talent at wide receiver. The offensive line was porous, and he had to carry everything on his own. You saw the weight of the world on his shoulders. Not so much here in Pittsburgh. The defense is playing well. They're finding a decent running game. He's making opportunistic plays when they need him to. They're in every game with the ability to pull out wins at the end. Other than last week where they got behind early, very similar mode to what we've seen with the Vikings. Take a lead, hold on to that lead, and maintain it the rest of the way. He's been driving the bus. He hasn't had to go out there and play hero ball. And as a result, they're winning ball games. There are going to be challenges at points during the season where he may be asked to do a lot. Those are going to be the biggest tests for him going forward. But right now, you're seeing he is a very capable starter with capability to be more as he grows with this offense.
I know this is a reach, but I'm curious, after today's performance, do you think that'll change the way that the Steelers franchise is looking at Russell and Justin and reevaluating what is going to be the next QB change, if there is one?
I think it's already changed.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I think it's a fact, yeah.
I think when they came into the season, they said Justin's going to be the long-term guy. But right now, we're going to be safe with Russell Wilson. Now they realize they don't have to be safe with Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so he's not making a ton of money on a salary cap. You can take Justin Fields and move forward with Justin Fields at this point. And if you need to jettison Russell Wilson in the offseason, you can do it. If you need to trade him, you can do it. He's a diminished player. We know that. We've seen it over the past couple of years. You realize Russell Wilson is not the same player he was 3 years ago in Seattle. But you have the potential to have a younger player under center who's got a lot more upside, who's going to continue to grow. In Justin Fields, you're winning with him. You found a way to fit him in and integrate him into this offense to make him effective. At this point, I don't think you go backwards. I think you just keep moving forwards.
Yeah, I think today and every day I'm rooting for Justin Fields. I think this will be a very exciting matchup. There's one thing that we haven't touched on, and that is Micah Parsons missing from this game, as well as DeMarcus Lawrence. So what can the Steelers do to really take advantage of this? I think it's a hard point for the Cowboys.
Should we say it in unison, Jeff? I know what you're going to say. Run the ball, man. Najee Harris all day long, I think.
Run the ball, and also, listen, there's no need to keep extra people in protection. There's no need for an extra set of protections as far as sliding to one guy or the other. You can play it honest across the board. You can take your shots down the football field. Don't expect this pass rush to get there in 1.5 seconds. It's going to take them 3 to 4 seconds to get to your quarterback. And your quarterback has the ability to extend time. You're going to find plays down the field versus this Dallas defense. Whether you get into the red zone and all that goes away, it'll be something different. But I think they're going to give up. They're going to be more of a bend but don't break look versus Pittsburgh than they were against the other teams, because plain and simple, they don't have those impact pass rushes right now. Marshawn Nealon is a rookie who's more of a 5 tech, who's a run stuffer with the ability to pass rush, but he's not a special pass rusher. Their next special pass rusher went down in the preseason and he's out for the year. All you have now is Carl Lawson, who's quite, as we say, on the back end of his career, not been that effective as a pass rusher so far since they brought him off the practice squad. So right now they're going to be looking for every answer known to man at the pass rush. So expect a lot of double A gap looks, expect a lot of blitz looks from Dallas. They're going to try and mix it up and confuse Pittsburgh's line because honestly, they're going to have to blitz today to try and get to the quarterback.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot more that the Cowboys need to do in order to not let this game get out of their hands against the Steelers home team. All right, we have been talking a lot of game. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to talk more about fantasy, our rapid picks, our final game, and we will see you guys soon.
You are watching Team NBS Media. We are a digital media brand covering sports, entertainment, and lifestyle, with team members all across the country. Through our written content, podcasts, and video content, we bring you fresh and professional content. Interested in joining the team? Shoot us an email or DM. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Who should you start this week? Who should you bench? And who has been showing up lately? Find out this and more in our Fantasy Talk segment. We will be right back with more Moving the Chains.
Are you looking for an energy boost during the day, but you don't like the coffee crash? Be sure to check out Clean Cause. They have delicious yerba mate teas with 150 milligrams of caffeine, but without the jitters. They also donate 50% of their net profits to help with drug and alcohol addiction. Interested in more? Click the link in our bio to get your first case.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Moving the Chains here on Team NBS Media. My name is Ashmere. I'm very happy to have you here, and I have my Clean Cause with me, actually. This is one of the best energy drinks. I can't wait for Jeff and Joe to try one because Jeff loves energy. Jeff loves coffee, and this is a cleaner way to drink your energy. I think you'll like it. It's like, damn, follow me out.
I've yet to have an energy drink I like, so I would take that challenge.
Okay.
That'll be, if that's a first for me, I will admit it. So far, energy drinks and me are like Apollo Creed and Clubber Lang. We just don't mix.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think like anytime I drink a Red Bull or like any other like really high known brand, I'm like way worse than if I had a cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's true, for sure.
My daughter loves Celsius, and I made a mistake of getting one. I was like, what the hell is this? No. I thought it was something totally different. No.
Wow.
No.
Celsius is pretty good.
The pink tax is crazy on the Celsius, the Lana, all the girly drinks.
I thought it was a seltzer drink until I picked it up, and I was like, it's an energy drink? Oh, God, no.
It's supposed to take away the sugary drive of like usual energy drinks, you know? I think that's the biggest thing.
I'll take the sugar for $200.
Well, this one's made of yerba mate tea, so that's why it's a little healthier. And as you progress throughout the day, you don't feel like you're too energized.
I need that in my life. Then the crash is bad.
Yeah, I think both of you. That's why I was like, this was a good ad for us. This is a good sponsor because we really all love caffeine on this show.
And Gunny Rector
was pretty quiet during the whole segment, just saying.
And Gunny Rector showing his marine qualities with the black coffee. That's a marine thing. My father was a marine, and black coffee with 2 equal was his thing. I said, I can't do that. After a coffee, it's got to have some cream in it. It's got to have some sugar.
It's a little flavor.
Yeah. Get my caramel creamer. Come on, man.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about our last game of the day, which I don't think is really the last. I think it's the most exciting. The Stephon Diggs revenge game. We've got Josh Allen doing phenomenal things without him. I think he really turned the narrative around and said, I don't need somebody. I am that somebody. And I think this matchup is really just that. It's the time to show out about who really needed who and who is going to be successful without the other. So to kick things off, if you're new here, we all love the Houston Texans. We love CJ Stroud. We always give him his flowers when they're due. But last week was a little weird. I think this was a Jaguars team that's down bad. You barely pull through and get the win, and their offense was struggling. Curious to hear where you see the adjustments made against a Bills defense who did get demolished, of course, last week. But that's a different beast. You're playing Derrick Henry. It's an absolutely different matchup. So today we've got two strong offenses, one missing their wide receiver in Khalil Shakir. So that's a big loss for Buffalo. So a lot of things I've gone over. The first question I think is really, where can you see the Houston Texans defense adjust to this new team?
I think if you're the Houston Texans, you just got to limit the explosive plays, keep everything in front of you, and kind of put Josh Allen in uncomfortable positions, be on attack mode. I think that you got to have Will Anderson. That pass rush has got to be there consistently. I think if you let Buffalo get those explosive plays and get a lead on you, which seems to be the problem with Houston. I mean, think about back to that Vikings game when we all picked Houston to win that game. They just fell behind and couldn't get right, and that defense was playing catch up the whole game long. You can't have that happen. You got to start off strong. You got your snazzy uniforms, your snazzy new field today in Houston. I think the Founders Day for the team was a couple days ago. It might even be today. I think you take all that energy plus the home fans and just give a really solid effort. But I think if you fall behind early, it's deja vu all again. That seems to be the MO of the Houston Texans. The games they lose, they fall behind early and are playing catch up all game long. Can't have that happen today.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's going to take a different kind of effort than we've seen. Normally against Buffalo in the past, they worried about, of course, Stephon Diggs, and now it's going to be focused more on Josh Allen because you don't have that one receiver to focus on this time around. There's no wide receiver one that threatens you all the time. He's been finding ways to utilize multiple people, whether it's Dawson Knox, the tight end. He's been finding different ways. So Dalton Kincaid, the other tight end, Shakir, he's been using multiple receivers to get things done. He's been doing it with throwing on time. He's been doing it by extending plays. They've been utilizing the running game very well. So I think you have to come up with a more focused game plan. You kind of got to trap Josh Allen into playing hero ball. Go out there, take away the running game on early downs. And this seems to be one of the things that we go, why do you say that a lot? Because it's very important for offenses to have a successful third and short. All right. So you make teams very limited on 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. So you set him up by taking those early downs away and forcing him to hold the ball and play hero ball. Force throws into coverage when he doesn't have those special receivers that separate. Force throws into tight windows because, yes, there's a glimmer of hope there, but it gives you the ability to close on the ball. But most importantly, don't allow him to escape the pocket. If you can contain Josh Allen in the pocket, cover those receivers long enough for that pressure to collapse around him, you're going to get a lot more sacks. You're going to get a lot more turnovers because you'll be able to rip that ball out in the pocket. Or when he's trying to throw the ball under pressure, you can be able to hit him and impact his arm on the ball. So there's certain things you could do to him in the pocket, but you got to contain him. You can't let him out. You can't let him extend because that's what's going to really open up those receivers. That's where Shakir has really fed a lot, is when he's broken, contained, and kind of ad-libbed a bit on the move.
So we've heard Stephon Diggs kind of had a temper in Buffalo, right? Like we saw him lash out in big games, which I think is an appropriate reaction when you are, fighting for a playoff spot or in the playoffs or so have you. Do you see Stephon getting agitated a little bit today against his former team?
What wide receiver one doesn't get agitated anymore? I'll be realistic. Which one doesn't? There's guys that get the ball and still are complaining about not getting the ball. So I think sometimes you just got to tune that out, right? We've seen it in the past. Terrell Owens, people tuned him out at times. Michael Irvin, people tuned him out at times. Even Justin Jefferson at times in Minnesota. You'll see him go out there and bark a little bit, right? You see, what's going to happen is your wide receiver one is always going to be the guy that demands the ball. But as long as you're winning, you'll find out that people don't chirp as loud. You can easily tune it out. It's when you're doing it in a loss is when the volume is even louder. Nobody complained about it when they were winning games, but they complained about it when they lost playoff games. So it's when you're losing is when that really matters. But if you can just say, listen, that's who he is. He's emotional. Just let him go. He'll be all right as long as we keep doing what we're supposed to do in winning games. Let it go. I think C.J. Stroud has to tune that out. He has to be able to go out there and play with a clear head, all right, and continue to feed the ball to the guys that are going to help them win games. Nico Collins is balling right now. Tank Dell, when he's healthy, has the ability to go out there and ball. Dalton Schultz is balling right now. So as long as those guys are helping them win, it's a hard thing to have when you have all of these guys around you. As a coordinator who had a lot of weapons at times, some of your receivers would complain. Even when you're winning, you're undefeated, and they're not happy because, plain and simple, they feel somebody's getting the ball more. There's one football and there's 5 playmakers. Well, guess what? Somebody's not going to get enough to eat, but everybody can eat and be satisfied.
All right, let's talk on the Bills side. Oh, go ahead.
No, I think true story. I agree.
Yeah, there's a lot of offensive weapons for the Texans. On the Bills side here, how do you combat these weapons, Jeff?
Well, once again, it starts out with pass rush. When you don't have time to find guys down the football field, it makes a world of a difference, right? So the Bills have to summon their pass rush, get out there, get after Stroud early, all right? And if you have to overextend with blitzing, you have to pick your spots. You can't go heavy at him because he's really good against the blitz. If he sees it coming, he knows how to hot throw it. He knows how to adjust to it and project protection. He knows how to slide out of there and buy time. So you got to really call on your blitz, but you got to be opportunistic about it. But you really got to get there with 4. If your 4 are getting there and you add in the blitz, you're going to give him a hard time throwing the ball down the field. He's going to be forced to check down, and you're going to be able to get him off the field on 3rd down. So that's where it comes back to being able to impact him in the pocket, not letting him find these guys down the field. That will frustrate him. That will frustrate those receivers and force them to try and, once again, press into making plays. That's where the mistakes happen.
So there has to be an Achilles heel in this matchup, and I want to hear both of your sides for either team. What do you think is the Achilles heel for either team in this matchup? I think there's just a lot of baggage coming in.
I mean, I would think for Buffalo, your Achilles heel is going to be your lack of pass rush of all your players that are out with their injury or suspensions. So I think if I'm the Houston Texans, I take advantage of that. You want to get those deep shots, crossing patterns. We talked about the plethora of playmakers they have on Houston. Get these guys the ball in space, let them do what they do. So I think for the Bills, the Achilles heel is their lack of a pass rush.
All right.
I think it's the lack of depth right now. You talk about, yes, the pass rush is impacted by injury and suspension. The wide receiver room is a little injured and beat up right now. So right now your depth is being tested. Do you have guys that can make plays coming off your bench? Because right now the guys that are normally out there are either wounded or suspended. So that's where you got to look at it and say, can our guys step up and make plays for us? Do we trust the depth to be able to do it? Or otherwise, are we hurting to the point where we're going to have to go out there midweek and start to look at making moves to try and upgrade the middle of our roster? That's a big problem for a lot of teams right now, because guess what? A lot of teams are suffering injuries. Everybody's picking over the free agent market. So it's going to be kind of hard to upgrade that roster. So today, you got to trust that your depth is good enough to get the job done.
Yeah, I think that those were 2 very good points, and we have seen them in the past couple weeks with that. We're both talking Bills here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. No Achilles heel for the Texans? They're just doing great?
No. The Achilles heel for the Texans is that they haven't gone out there and blown anybody up right. We talk about we saw this Texans team last year go out there and blow everybody off the map before they even started getting into their losing ways, right? But what happened this year is they've come out and they've been muddling along, getting wins, and they've had a loss here or there. But for the most part, it hasn't been this explosive offense we saw last year. The defense has had great moments. They've had some letdowns at times too. So this team hasn't put it all together right now. And yeah, as Greg has mentioned, Joe Mixon is out. Still a very capable running back coming off that bench there. But once again, it comes back to, you're not seeing the huge explosive plays we expected. Adding Diggs was supposed to add even more. It hasn't happened. Tank Dell hasn't been the same since the injury yet. Sometimes it takes a while to get back there. It's taken a while for him to get back there. Nico Collins has been a godsend. Same with Dalton Schultz. But even with all of that, the explosive plays are not consistently happening for this Texans offense, and it's slowing them down. They're becoming plotting offense as opposed to an explosive offense.
Yeah, I feel the deal for the Houston Texans is simple. Just play a complete game. You got to start, like I said, you have to start off strong and you got to end strong. Enough of the playing catch up and the throw the game plan out the window or make a new game plan on the fly because we're behind by so many points. It's got to come in from start to finish and play a complete game. Just like I talked about Dallas, a lot of high expectations from Houston Texans fans about what the season's going to be. We're only in week 5, so the sky's not falling. But they should make today be the start of them playing the way the football they wanted to play all season long.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that there is that little spark that's not existing yet on the Texans, but it has been with the Bills. And I think if one big play happens, Josh Allen's going to take that and grab it and run. So this matchup is also, I'm telling you, 50% fun, 50% not fun. But you know what's not fun is the fantasy football waiver wire struggle that we are all going through. The injuries across the board are just unbelievable. Like the Joe Mixon one, we just touched on it, right? But here, Jeff takes no Cam Akers slander. So we had Greg in the comments saying that this is a Dameon Pierce game. I don't know. I want to hear what's the battle of the RBs here in Houston, because there's a lot of them. And I'm curious to hear which one you're taking to put on your starting bench as a Joe Mixon fantasy owner myself.
I still have faith in Cam Akers. I still think he can make plays, and the thing I like about him is dual threat. He can catch the ball at the backfield, and also run between the tackles. I just think that again, Houston's got to have a strong start. When you're down 14, 21 points, nobody cares about the running game anymore, and he gets few opportunities in the passing game when they're behind by so many points. I think if we start off strong, he's going to get his carries, opportunity to get some rushing yards, some rushing TDs. Receiving as well. But like you said, fantasy just been a bloodbath. I mean, these are my notes of like potential pickups I could have for today. It's survival of the fittest right now in the fantasy world.
Yeah, I definitely agree. What about you, Jeff? You're sticking with your boy Cam?
No, I would. If Dameon Pierce is on the waiver wire, I'd take Dameon Pierce because I think he's going to get first crack at it. So I think they're going to wind up splitting carries. So neither one of them are going to, I think, can give you a ton of fantasy points. Maybe Dameon Pierce gives you a little more if he gets the red zone carries of the two. So other than that, I don't expect a lot of fantasy points out of either of their two running backs. A combined effort is what's going to get happening. If you don't have both of them, you can forget about starting any one of these guys in fantasy. I would look elsewhere if I'm a fantasy owner.
Yeah, it's ugly out there.
Well, I mentioned it in the last segment. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's hitting the free agent market. So there's very little out there for fantasy owners. There's very little out there for teams.
Trey Sermon on the waiver wire to really help you, and I am speaking on myself because I don't have any backups. I'm curious to hear, how do you think the Colts run game is going to look today? Do you think that's going to be helpful?
I forgot he was in the league still. Played for Ohio State, right, Jeff?
That's what they're talking
Trey
about.
Sermon, he's bounced around. He's bounced around quite a bit.
Yeah. Do you see the Colts run game being successful against the Jags?
Yes, because the Jaguars defense has been so I think that's what if they win this game, it's going to be because of the fact that the Jaguars defense wasn't able to stop the run. They needed to get going. We know I believe Joe Flacco's starting today for the Colts because there's no Anthony Richardson. So it's not going to be a zone read day. It's going to be a get downhill real fast day for this Colts running game. So yes, I think it'll be effective against this Jaguars defense that has struggled week after week. They played better last week versus Houston. Once again, we talked about not explosive. Okay. Last week, Houston kept them in the game because they were not explosive. So it's going to be a tough game for both teams. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I believe if the Colts are going to be successful, it has to start with their running game and getting downhill and pounding on this unimpressive Jaguars front.
We've all been talking about Dontavian Wicks. I think his name has flooded the headlines for being the only player the Packers can really throw the ball to right now since Romeo Dobbs' suspended by his own choice. So I'm curious to hear a little bit about that game and who you are choosing in the offensive matchup for that. Starting Sydney.
I'm a big fan of Reed from the Packers, a receiver. I think that's a guy that if he's available, probably not. But if he is available in your league, you should snag him right now and stop watching this show. Because somebody who's an owner in your league doesn't know what they're doing if Reed is still available. But that's a guy that's definitely, when he gets the ball, makes the most of his opportunities. I think you saw that Jordan Love almost making that comeback. Definitely got into the groove by the end of the game, so he'll be slinging the ball left and right. I think any of those Packer weapons are good pickups because Jordan Love spreads the ball around. It's not just one player getting all the attempts. He goes to the player who's open to make the most positive play, which is a good thing. You want that in your quarterback. So I think any of the Packers playmakers would be a good option.
Yeah, I agree. And they're taking on a Rams team that has been crawling back. I mean, I think they're not falling apart. So what about you, Jeff?
For me, if I'm looking at Packers playmakers as far as pass catchers, I think the guys that may actually save the day are interior. I'm talking about tight ends. I'm talking about Tucker Kraft. I'm talking about Luke Musgrave. I think those guys are going to make some big catches for you as people are trying to worry about the outside guys. I think he's going to be safe. I think he's going to look to his guys inside that he knows he can throw to versus the blitz that he knows he can check down to, and those will be his tight ends. All
right. Any other fantasy and waiver secret tips that you guys have? Defenses. That's been my favorite.
Good luck and prayer. Good luck and prayer is all I got for
you. Here's one for you. If you're looking for defense,
yes.
This week I would go New England Patriots defense versus Miami, who's struggling for answers on offense. Take the New England Patriots defense this week.
Okay, so you see them bouncing back?
I believe it's gonna. I don't believe that's gonna be a high-scoring affair. I don't see. Listen, we've tried to give Mike McDaniel the benefit of the doubt last couple of weeks, saying he'll find a way with these receivers to get one of these quarterbacks effective. It hasn't worked out. Now you're going against a very good New England defense that they have some good playmakers in the secondary. Not the greatest pass rush, but overall they have a good scheme that knows how to take people away. If I'm going to go to that matchup, and I think that who's going to win it based on defense, give me New England. I think New England's defense is going to get some turnovers. They're going to make some plays. They're going to keep the scoring low. They'll be good for fantasy owners. So I would take the New England defense in that matchup.
Yeah, I think another defense everyone's talking about, which is like it's a battle of defenses, if you want to call it that, the Raiders and the Broncos. The Broncos defense has done spectacular things to lead them to this point. And so, of course, going against a really, really struggling Gardner Minshew, this is a prime opportunity for Denver to get you a nice, I think, 10 bag. Easy. I see some sacks coming, little fumble recovery. It's going to be ugly. I'm not watching that game, Raider Nation. Keep you heard it here.
Yeah, this has been the Sean Payton Kiss My Butt tour. For everybody that talked about that he was getting fired this year, he's 2-2 right now, possibly 3-2 after today. If he goes with a winning record at this season, he's going to expect a lot of people to go around and kiss his butt for what they talked about last 2 years.
Like he knows what he's doing or something. All right, we're going to take it into our last segment, the rapid fire segment, and I'm going to let Jeff take it away because he's got all of the stuff to show you about how we did last week and what we're going to pick for this week. Jeff, please.
Well, it's been horrific the previous 2 weeks, but last week we were cooking. Oh my goodness, we were cooking last week. Look at that. Well, sorry, Joe, you weren't really cooking. You were more,
Shut up, Jeff. Keep talking.
You were using the microwave, but everybody else was cooking. I mean, we had it going. Ashmere rising to the top of the picks now. But it looks like we're going to take one more L, and Ashmere's going to get one more W because the way the Jets are playing right now, it looks like her lone wolf is going to pay off on this. Like I said, I did not feel good about that pick after the Denver loss last week, and they have confirmed my belief. So there's going to be a lot of things going on there. But overall, on the season, Ashmere has taken the lead over Greg. I'm back above 500, thank God. And Joe, you kind of just lying in the weeds there, hoping to make a shot, a late run later on. So
that's my style, Jeff. That's my style. Not too far off, not too high, kind of in the middle. And when you least expect it, it's fine.
Honestly, the picks I do with you guys vary so differently with the picks I do. I think it's the pressure of what I'm going to do here.
So it's time to start making our picks this week. And we'll start this off with a game that both of us have been burned by. All of us have been burned at some point by these two teams, Carolina and Chicago.
I'm thinking a 2-touchdown DJ Moore day. Give me Chicago.
Greg is taking the Bears.
I'll save my lone wolf for another opportunity. I'd go Bears.
Uh-oh.
I was going to go Red Rifle, but I was like,
Uh-oh. We have a unanimous pick to start off. Oh, Chicago, you don't do well on the unanimous picks, brother. This is gonna be one of those weeks we're all gonna be sitting on the edge of our seats hoping that this unanimous pick works out, because Chicago, we pick them unanimous, they go bad. Baltimore, Cincinnati.
Yikes, I'm not Baltimore.
Oh, wow. So nobody believes in Joe Burrow, huh?
I just don't believe that this is the time.
Yeah. I'm still a Joe Burrow fan, but I just don't think this is the game for
They got off the schneid last week. They got their first win. Don't think they can win 2-0?
Why is it taking so long? The blonde hair is a moment, okay? That means I'm winning. I keep repeating it because it's for real. If you're going blonde, you're on your revenge tour. And he's revenging the Panthers? I mean...
It's a division game. It's the perfect opportunity to go lone wolf. But I won't, because I've been burned by Cincinnati going lone wolf before. So, therefore, I'm going to stick with Baltimore. Houston and Buffalo. I'll be shocked if we go unanimous here.
Oh, man. I think it's going to be Buffalo.
Greg is going to Texans.
Yeah, I'm not going to go against C.J. Stroud. I'll go Texans. I thought about it.
I don't mind being wrong here. I'd rather be the lone wolf that helps them win.
Well, Joe, cue it up, because I do not believe in Buffalo right now with the injuries they have. I believe last week's was a measuring stick, not an outlier. So, Ashmere, you're going lone wolf.
Just me out here. If they win, you're welcome. You're all welcome.
Listen, your last lone wolf is paying off right now. They're winning right now as we speak. So
we're still timed up in this game. Not more. Never mind. I didn't know Minnesota got a field goal. Never mind.
Yes, they're down 10 again. Yes.
Safe flight home. Maybe Robert Saleh might stay in London.
Okay, two more teams that love to fool us: the Colts and the Jags.
Oh my God, so ugly. I think the Jags get their first win today. Oh wait, we're playing Joe Flacco. Hold on, I changed my mind.
Yeah, that's why I'm going Colts. I think Flacco gets it done. The wild veteran, he figures out a way.
Yeah.
Got a talented wide receiver core there in Indianapolis. Just been Anthony Richardson's been inconsistent. I think Joe Flacco can be consistent. They can get it done.
Colts. What do you got, Jeff?
Oh.
Video just dropped this morning from our friend Cam. Is Trevor Lawrence a bust?
Yeah. Looking at these two teams, I would love the lone wolf on this one, but I can't trust the Jaguars. I'm going to go Colts.
Yeah, don't waste your wolf on one.
Yeah. Listen, it's got to pay off for me when I go lone wolf, but I wouldn't trust Jacksonville right now with a potato gun.
All right, we're getting to the back half of the 50% ugly I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, as we said yesterday about college football, ended up being a great week. So maybe the NFL could do the same thing. Because yesterday was supposed to be a lame week of college football, and it definitely was not.
It's been just that. You know, every time we think we've got a unanimous pick, we've had multiple go bad every week so far. Here we go. Miami, New England. This last year was the game to watch. This year, most people are finding other things to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with the Patriots defense. I feel bad that Miami has to keep going down like this, but
yeah, Christian Gomez, those guys, they figure something out. They get some points off turnovers, or at least put the offense in a good position to score. Gotta go to England. Be a lot of unanimous this week. I feel like we might go 7 deep with the curse.
The good thing about a lot of the unanimous picks, if we all go wrong, we all go bad together.
yes, we
I
do.
need wins to get myself to
running the
500.
ship
I
down together.
can't afford any more bad weeks.
Miami, I lone wolfed on you before. I will not be doing it again. All right. Commanders, Browns.
Come on. Next game. At home to whole city behind Jaden Daniels. He better show up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Commanders too.
I'm just going to say this. We're on the Las Vegas, Denver.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
Greg,
I don't like this.
What say you, Greg?
He's drinking black coffee. Give him a moment. That's a shock to the system. First sip of just pure black coffee is a shock to the system. He needs a moment. What's the next game? Raiders.
It's taking a long time for you, Greg. I have a feeling that it means you're choosing Commanders.
Probably.
Browns.
He's going lone wolf.
This will be remembered, sir.
He's doing this to save you, Joe.
This will be remembered.
It's a saving grace.
Okay, here we go. The redemption arc for Sean Payton continues against the Raiders. Anybody want to say that?
It's like I should pick my own team, right?
Listen,
Devontae Adams either. Yeah, no, I almost went the Raiders. Did I remember?
I'll just pick the Raiders.
Ashmere Joe for a big.
I won't be watching, but I'll be rooting.
just pick it with a heart, folks.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Greg going along with you.
Greg's a Raiders believer.
Look at that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the hot team. I'm going to go with Denver.
Yeah. We figured. I was going to pick him too.
All right, San Francisco, Arizona, divisional battle.
All right, everyone, keep in mind it's 100 degrees in Santa Clara today, so please stay hydrated if you're going to this game.
Oh, I'm still going to go Niners. I think
Yeah.
they're starting to. Brock Purdy's playing really, really good quarterback. The defense is starting to turn around a little bit. I go San Francisco.
Niners.
Yeah, I've gone unanimous against Arizona and lost. I've lone wolfed on Arizona and lost. I've gone unanimous with San Francisco and lost. Man, I'm scarred from both of these teams. But looking at the matchup, I got to go San Francisco.
Arizona's burned me too many times to remember.
Yes. Okay, Rams, Packers.
I think this
Go.
Jordan Love's time to take someone out. Yep, Packers.
Yeah, I'm going to go Green Bay. I believe they're the better team. I believe the Rams have been playing with a lot of fight, but
Yes.
I'm going to go with Green Bay.
I think this game will not go down easy.
No.
Yeah, so Sean McVay's teams play hard. It's like Mike Tomlin. They rarely get blown out.
Uh-oh,
It's
we're
at home.
unanimous.
And it's at home, so.
They rarely get blown out unless it's to the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, New York Giants, Seattle Seahawks.
We're going to Seattle? Oh, man.
Oh, this is the Seattle revenge game.
Seahawks by 100. Daniel Jones on the road in that loud-ass stadium. Yeah, no. Hopefully the Giants have some time to take a look at the sights and take in Seattle, beautiful city.
This game has as much appeal as an 89-year-old stripper. So you guys are going to Seattle?
Yeah, I am sure.
I mean, if they drop this game, I think that's a conversation worth having. But I'll pick Seattle. I'm a little iffy on it, though. I don't know why.
Because
if it was in New York, I might have to give the Giants a chance, but that's a tough place to play.
I'm going to tell you why I'm taking Seattle. Because the one guy that's helped the Giants be competitive isn't playing today, and that's Malik Neighbors. So, there's no chance. And if Seattle makes this a chance, shame on Seattle. Okay. The nightcap, Dallas-Pittsburgh.
Woo, Dolly, you pick first.
Okay, well, Greg is taking the boys. I believe this game will not be a blowout. However, I do not believe the Cowboys win it. I'm going to take Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm taking Pittsburgh as well.
Like that 3 in a row for Steelers.
Well, I mean, it only seems right for Greg.
Well, there's no 3 in a row for the Steelers. They got beat last week.
No, I mean 3 in a row as far as picks.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm picking Pittsburgh.
Greg, you are lone wolfing on Dallas.
Your own team. It just feels right, okay? I'm with you.
All the way up in Canada.
You know, and people will say, Greg was saying, how could you pick Steelers? You know, you never go against the family, he would say. But I'm going against the family. Listen, I'm unbiased here. I go by the matchup. I'm going to take Pittsburgh against a battered and beaten Dallas team. Monday night, Saints, Chiefs.
Give me Derek Carr. The Saints got this, okay?
Man, her hate for Kansas City is legendary.
I'm riding with DC forever. He can never escape this damn franchise.
Her hate for KC is real. Man, the Saints have been playing.
This is a Travis Kelce game, everyone, though, so.
I'll go New Orleans.
You're going to New Orleans, Joe? Oh, wow.
Yeah, no Pacheco, no Rice. I mean, Xavier Worthy's still there. I would not be surprised if I'm wrong. I'm going to New Orleans.
Greg, who do you got?
I think if Derek Carr wants to win over the heart of Devontae Adams, he needs to win.
Greg is going Kansas City. Listen, DJ Khaled said it best, and I think it applies to Kansas City. All they do is win. All right, so I'm going Kansas City on this one.
Yeah. I'd like to see Derek Carr give him their first loss. Headlines cover. DC still got it.
Man, and on road too. Yeah, I'll stick with that. I won't change.
Thursday night, San Francisco at Seattle.
Okay, I was like, why is the 49ers back up here again? Games in Seattle too.
Joe wants to change and go to the Chiefs.
No, I'm safe. I'm sticking my guns. I mean, when you're in last place, how much further can I go? Not too much worse I can do. It's fine. Put it on the board.
I think this Thursday night, I think the Brandon Ayuk arrival game is against Seattle. Give me the Niners.
First and goal for the Jets with 8 minutes left. First and goal for the Jets. 8 minutes left. Down 20 in 2010. I'll go Niners. As much as I like Seattle at home, nah.
I think the Niners are getting healthier. I think they're getting better. I think Seattle's right now the best bet at home is the best bet, chance to beat the Niners. On a short week, give me Seattle.
Ooh.
He's all gassing up the Niners, and he's like, give me Seattle.
They're playing great football, and they're going to lose.
All right, so there's our picks for this week, and we're waiting to see how last week turns out. But once again, I will plug in last week's, and we will see where we stand right now. One more time, with, of course, the early game pending. Ashmere leading the way. Yes, sprinkle some seasoning on her because she is cooking right now. Yes.
Only by 2 games.
Yeah, just for you, Ashmere, we bring in Salt Bay.
Thank you. And we're matching him and I in the white tee.
Yeah.
The Jets might pull this off. You never know. It's still
Well, Jets are about to score because they just got a pass interference in the end zone. So this is going to get real tight real fast.
All right, everyone. Well, I'll let you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. If you are tuning in live, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you stopping by and spending your mornings with us. Be sure to like and subscribe all Team NBS Media content across social platforms. We will be here again next week and throughout the week. We've got shows almost every single day, so be sure to tune in. Thanks again for joining us, and we will see you next week. Best of luck.